I tried 5 side hustle while traveling. Here is how much money that I made on this journey. Well, some of them worked way better than I ever expected, while some of them are completely flopped. And honestly, one of them was so weird that I almost gave up. So, in this video, I'm going to walk you through each of these side hustle. I will show you the exact amount of money I made and what you can actually learn along the way. Trust me, by the end, you know which of these side hustle will actually work for you if you ever want to earn money while exploring the world. So my goal was simple, just to test a few side hustle that don't require a lot of upfront money. Things I could do with just my laptop, my phone, and of course internet, my Wi-Fi. Traveling and hustling at the same time is not always glamorous, I must tell you the fact. Sometimes you are working with a noisy cafe, sometimes you are trying to find good internet here and there in the middle of nowhere. The first side hustle is freelancing. All right, yes, freelancing. I jump on a website, the freelancing website. To be specific, Fiverr, Upwork, they offer services, like writing short articles, editing videos, and, doing some quick design work online. The cool part of this side hustle is that I could literally sit, in an hostel, open my laptop, and I start working. One day, I was writing an article about fitness while sitting, in a cafe by the beach. It felt so kind of surreal. Okay, now let me talk about the money part. Money-wise, freelancing is flexible. I didn't work full time, just a few hours a day. And in 1 week, I pulled up about $120. Not a fortune, yes, but definitely it's enough to cover for food and transportation for the week. Here is the challenging part. Competition is tough. Sometimes you have to bid really low on this website to get the job. But once you get a good review, it gets easier. I'd say freelancing is a great starter, a side hustle, with a little bit of flexibility. So my second hustle is selling photos. Yes, selling photos while traveling. Since I was already exploring, the cities and landscape, I thought, why not? Why not turn my pictures, into money? So I started uploading some shots to stock photo websites. I use Shutterstock and Adobe Stock. Here is the truth, though. This is not a quick money. You upload today and maybe later in like a week, then you start seeing your photo sales. But the cool thing is that once your photos are online, they can, keep selling forever. You keep getting that recurring money. Okay, I made about $25 from a few downloads. That's not much, I know, but I continue taking pictures. Those pictures that I've already snapped, while traveling. So my third side hustle is content creation. Okay, this one is fun, creating traveling content. I recorded shorts, vlog of my journey. I posted them, on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And believe it or not, one of my clips actually got, a large traction. I even had a small brand reach out that paid me for a shout out. How easy or how cool or how interesting is that? This also brought in about $150, but more importantly, it has long-term potential. Content is like when you plant a seed. The more you post, the bigger it can grow. But the downside, it takes a lot of work, filming, editing, posting consistently, and trying not to get discouraged when some video gets 0 views. But when people started commenting things like, oh, this inspired me to travel, or I didn't know you could do this hustle, it felt so worth it. So you can do the same in this video that you're watching. Let me hear your comment. Honestly, if you are someone who loves storytelling, documenting your journey is not just a hustle. It goes beyond, you building a brand. So let me tell you about my number 4 hustle, that is online tutoring. Now let's talk about this hustle that made me the most money, online tutoring. I signed up to teach English online, and all I needed to do was my laptop, the equipment I need, my laptop, my headphone, and a decent internet. Funny enough, students booked lesson, and I basically chatted with them, corrected some grammars and helped them practice conversion with the little English that I know that I can speak. And in 1 week, I made about $200. That's more than enough to cover for accommodation, food, and even some activities while traveling. Isn't that interesting? And of course, the best part is that it didn't feel like a hustle, I actually enjoyed it. I got to meet people from different countries, share my culture, and even give me some tips about places to visit, in their country. So it was like learning while earning, So if you have a skill, not just about teaching English or any language, but of course maths, if you have a skill in music, coding, tutoring could be a good mind while traveling. Yes. So coming to my number five hustle, reselling item. Finally, hustle number five is buying and selling items. So while I'm traveling, I noticed some unique souvenir and local products that weren't available online in other places. So I bought a few small items and I listed them on eBay. It wasn't a huge money, I must tell you, but I made about $60 profit, after shipping. The tricky part is the logistic, carrying stuff, making sure it's not too heavy, and actually shipping it. But I can see how this hustle could get big, if you do it right. Imagine building an online store where you can sell your unique items around the world. That's not just a side hustle, that's a whole business idea. You can check some of my e-commerce websites like pikidi.com and nijaka.com. The lesson that I learned on this journey. So after testing all these five, hustle, here's the breakdown of how much money I made. On freelancing, I made $120. Selling photo online, that made me, roughly $25. On content creation, I made $150. And of course, on online tutoring, I made $200. Reselling, $60. So this brings me to a total of $555 that I made while traveling. Now, here is what I learned. Okay, some hustle are quick wins, like tutoring, which I made the most of the money, and some take time, but you can grow, little by little, like the content creation and photo, and some are just for fun, like a social experiment. But the main point is this: you don't need to be rich to travel. All you need is your creativity, okay, and the willingness to try. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these hustles would you actually try if you were traveling? Drop your answer in the comments because I might even test your suggestion in the next video. And if you enjoyed the breakdown, smash the like button, guys, and subscribe for more travel hustle adventure. And of course, join me on this crazy journey of exploring the world while making money. I'll see you on my next video.